Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're doing a post combine mock draft. I know, we've had a lot of people asking for the mock drafts. Here it is. We gonna get right into it. I just want to preference by saying this. This mock draft is going to be both a mixture of a predictive mock draft and what I think the actual talent level and skill level of these players are. You'll see what I mean later in the video. Starting off, let's just start off real quick. At number one, Fernando Mendoza. Pencil him in for the number one pick. There is a 99.9% chance he is going to be picked number one overall by the Raiders. This is where the draft really starts. Here at two, there's really only three options you can go, and that is Arvell Reese, Ruben Bain, and David Bailey. Sorry. Um, my personal pick, spoiler alert, I'll tell you guys right now, is going to be Arvell Reese. Now, the reason for this, out of those three players, I do believe he has the highest upside. Arvell Reese can be Micah Parsons. Now, that's not a one-to-one pro comp, but just to give you a ceiling level of what I think he can be. I think he's in that range. I think he's a very similar prospect type to a Abdul Carter. Him and Micah both played off-ball linebacker, then transitioned to full-time edge, which is what I believe Arvell Reese's role in the NFL would be. If he's getting picked in the top five, which he probably will be, is going to be to play edge. He might have spot minutes at linebacker, off the ball, like a TJ Watt type, but he's going to be primarily an edge. And I believe in his edge upside more than that of a Ruben Bain, who the short arm thing is there. His arm length isn't the greatest, and you did see that show up in his tape, where a lot of tackles that could have been made weren't made because he was just a little inch short. And then David Bailey is just a pass rusher. He is not good at the against the run whatsoever, which again, you're drafting him to be a pass rusher, duh. But at the end of the day, is he a three down player? I don't know. He's never shown the capability to be a stout defender against the run, which is why I personally wouldn't pick him as high as number two because of that issue. Now, here at number three, I think there's a pretty easy pick for me. Francis Mainoa. They need offensive line help badly. They need to get a new quarterback because it seems Kyler Murray might be out the door, or they might attempt to do a rerun with him with the new coaching staff. I genuinely don't know. But either way, you can help your quarterback now or your future quarterback with shoring up that offensive line. And I go with Manoa here just because he plays right tackle position and Paris Johnson Jr. is going to stay at that left tackle position. As in terms of, some would say maybe a Caleb Lomu, who he's a left tackle. Sorry, not Lomu, Fano. I be getting them mixed up because they both went to the same school. Here, number four, I think this is where Bailey goes. For me, it's really stuck between Ruben Bain and Bailey. Some people could say Titans could take the first receiver off the board here, but this is a very deep receiver class in my opinion, and I think the value, especially with having a defensive head coach and is Robert Saleh. Saleh. I don't ever know how to say his name, and he was the head coach for one of my teams, so that's kind of crazy. But yeah, he would want a defensive prospect to shore up that defense because you're not gonna find a player of David Bailey's caliber in the second round. Nor will you find a Cardinal. You won't find a Makai Lemon in the second round, I believe. But I think you can find a good receiver in the second round, but you can't find a good edge in the second round. That's what I think. I hope that makes sense. But between Ruben Bain and David Bailey, I just assumed they would want to go with the more surefire pass rush. You don't really have to worry about anything in terms of physicals, in terms of David Bailey, in terms of measurables. And with Ruben Bain, his measurables, we already know he has a shorter arm length thing, which might cause him to fall down the board just a tiny bit, and especially because he's kind of at that size where you don't really know if you want to play him full-time edge or maybe in the interior. So David Bailey's my pick at number 4. Here at number 5, I think this is another easy one. I'm going with Caleb Downs. Now here, they can go either tackle with Lomu, uh, receiver, take the first receiver off the board, or Caleb Downs. And I honestly think Harbaugh, Kyle Hamilton, he knows how valuable it is to have a safety of that caliber, and I truly believe Caleb Downs, without a doubt, is going to be one of the best safeties in the league. So to get one at 5, yes, it's rich for the positional value, but at the end of the day, in a class that's lacking blue chip prospects, you're getting one off the board here. Now, here at number 6, I'm a Shador fan. I don't want to fully commit that I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, but come on now, I'm a Shador fan, and I struggle with this pick. I don't know if Fano is the pick here at 6. Now, of course, some people might go in the comments and type and say, well, their entire offensive line, or maybe their whole offensive line, is going to hit free agency. And I agree. But I think to reach for a tackle just to get a tackle would be a misuse of value in assets for a Cleveland Browns team that needs to win practically now. As Denzel Ward is getting up there in age, Myles Garrett just came off a record-breaking season. You got to hit while the iron's hot. And I say get the first receiver off the board. There's not going to be no trades here in this mock, but if I'm Cleveland, if Maino is not there at 6, I might consider moving back because I truly don't believe Fano is a top 10 worthy pick. Being honest, he's just not. But so here at 6, I'm gonna take Carnell Tate. Now, I personally have Mekhi Lemon as my wide receiver 1 in this class. Based solely because of Jordan Tyson's injury history. We don't know what the medicals are going to look like, and I do believe between Carnell Tate and Mekhi Lemon is the better player to me. But Carnell Tate has the size, he has the hands, he has the route running, and I think he's a more safe pick. As you know, some teams picking in the top 10 would be a little scared of Mekhi Lemon's height and play him in the slot, which I think he would also thrive there as well. But he can also play outside. He has the go get that ball mentality that a JSN or a Amon-Ra have. If I'm just being honest. Here at number 7. This is another easy pick for me. Some might not agree with this, but I mean, some would say Ruben Bain is right there. He is arguably a top 3 prospect in his class. How do you not take him for a team that needs defense? And I would say because Sonny Styles is on the board, and he is as close to a perfect linebacker prospect that you will possibly see. He was a former safety when he first came to Ohio State, and he just kept growing. He's 6'4". He might be 6'5" by the time of the combine at this point. His foot speed is insane. He has a good knack for reading plays. They just didn't throw him the ball because his coverage instincts are elite. He doesn't miss tackles. He's just a great all-around linebacker. He's practically a perfect linebacker prospect, which is I don't throw around lightly, if I'm being honest. I genuinely think he has Fred Warner ceiling level. Not that type of player, but to be all-pro, potential Hall of Fame level linebacker. Now, that's very rich. But for me, he's a blue chip prospect in this class. I mean, he's the best linebacking prospect I've seen in the last couple drafts. A lot of people compare him to Jahad Campbell, and I think that's a misinterpretation of Sonny Styles' ceiling level. I think his ceiling blows Jahad Campbell's out of the water. So, I mean, to take a surefire, is going to hit captain of your defense, Sonny Styles. Come on. Now, number 8, I mean, it looks like it's the same pick everybody's doing. Jeremiah Love. I know. It's just the Saints O-line is really damn good. They can facilitate a blue chip prospect in Jeremiah Love, and you're helping out your young quarterback in Tyler Shuck, who I was heavily critical of as a player. He proved me wrong. He proved he can be a starter in this league, and you're helping him out by getting best player available. Potentially, some people could argue best player in the class at number 8. Number 9, insanely easy pick for me. This is the dream fantasy world for the Chiefs. I'll admit, Ruben Bain falling down to 9 is a little, but he doesn't go lower than 9. He is the typical perfect Spags edge rusher. I mean, with the size, the physical tools. I mean, from a talent level, he's just one of them ones, if I'm gonna be honest. And he can't fall past the Chiefs. The Chiefs would be incredibly stupid to pass on him if he somehow made it here, which in this mock he does. Comment comment below in the comments if you think this is kind of fishy, but I don't like the Chiefs, so don't think I did this on purpose. Being honest. Now here at number 10, the Bengals are a little upset that Caleb Downs didn't make it here, who would be penciled in number 10 pick if he made it here. Here at 10 though, honestly, I'm gonna have them go McCoy. And the reason why I have McCoy here at 10 and not Mansour Delane, who has been the better cornerback prospect, the better cornerback this year, considering Gerald McCoy didn't play the season at all, coming off the ACL injury. You could say we're really gonna waste our top 10, not waste, but use our top 10 pick on someone who didn't play the entirety of the season. And I just wanted to let it be known for those who do not know or are not familiar with Gerald McCoy, when he plays, or when he did play, he would be the best cornerback prospect in this class without a doubt. And that's no shade on Mansour Delane. He just doesn't have the tools, the foot speed, the measurables that Gerald McCoy has. He just doesn't. That's nothing on Mansour Delane. It's just, it is what it is. And I think the Bengals might need to go swing for a high upside pick in McCoy, as their defensive picks are struggling. I mean, look at last year. They took the edge out of, what was it, A&M? Turner? I forgot his name. Shamar Stewart, I think it was. Produced nothing in the NFL, which is a shame in his rookie season. And they really got to go for high upside players, I think. And it's not as if they're just swinging for the fences, because in that case, I could have them pick, a player like Kendrick Folk, who has a high floor, but his ceiling as a pass rusher is like questionable. And I just think the Bengals need high level Pro Bowl caliber play as soon as possible. Like, they just need it. And I do think Gerald McCoy has that potential to be a Pro Bowler in this league. And I just don't think the same for Mansour Delane, if I'm being honest. Now, here at 11, now this is where Delane goes. I think if you're the Dolphins, this was going to be your pick no matter what, between whichever corners were on the board. Just because as a first-time GM, you don't want to take the risk of potentially picking someone who couldn't. Physicals might not come back well, or as the medicals. And you want to go with the safer pick, which is Delane, which is 100% understandable. And they need cornerback help, as their cornerback room is hitting free agency and sucks. Here at 12. Now, Cowboys fans, before you get into my comment section saying Kendrick Folk, the non-pass rushing edge at 12, listen, this is who Jerry Jones always wanted, right? He had Micah Parsons on the team, and his number one complaint about Micah, he can't stop the run. He can't stop the run. He can't stop the run. You're getting someone who will stop the run at an elite level in the NFL. So I don't know what the problem with this pick would be. There's not a secondary player that is here at 12. No linebackers here at 12. You could say CJ Allen, but you'll see that a later pick that I think they could just get him at 20. So I think Kendrick Folk is just the pick here. And I picked 13. Another popular pick, Mekhi Lemon. The Rams really don't need a lot at all, for being honest. And the one thing that they could possibly need in the future, well, besides of DB, obviously, but you can see for the future, after Devontae Adams is done, they don't really have any receiver help outside of Puka. And by the time Devontae Adams is done, Stafford's probably not going to be there. And whatever quarterback you have at the time, or young quarterback, you want him to have weapons, plural, meaning Puka and somebody else. And if you're getting arguably the best receiver in the class at 13, you really can't complain. You really can't. Here at 14, my Baltimore Ravens. I don't like doing this pick, but I mean, it just has to be the pick. It's a boring pick per se, as here, I'm going to go a little bit into depth into this one. The Ravens could pick between a Peter Woods or a TJ Parker for the high upside defensive playmaking that they need desperately, or even a Caleb Banks in case if they want some more pass rush from the interior. But I mean, they need offensive line. I mean, they could possibly lose Tyler in free agency. Falele is garbage. Voorhees is fine. He can definitely be upgraded. But for interior offensive line that's practically decimated, they just got to take it. If I'm the Ravens, I would maybe potentially move back a couple spots, maybe to the 19, 20, 21 range, just right ahead of the Chargers. And so you could get some extra draft capital while still being able to draft the offensive line if that's the route you want to go. But yeah, it just seems like that's going to be the pick here. And at number 15 here, I'm going to take Cassius Howell, man. They need edge bad. Their defense is kind of falling apart now as, you know, Levante David's aging. Their cornerback room could definitely use assistance. Their defensive line needs replenishment, and that's what we're doing with Cassius Howell. He's going to get sacks. Now, at the NFL level, it's a question mark due to his measurables. His arm length, I think he has sub 30-inch arms or something around that, which is obviously cause for alarm. But out of the edges available, he's best player available. If they didn't go Cassius Howell, the pick I was considering was Kenyon Sadiq. You know, get Baker Mayfield some more targets. I mean, more players to target, as it looks like Mark Evans is leaving in free agency potentially. And their tight end, Kate Otten, fine. But if you're getting a great tight end prospect here, it was really a toss-up. You really can't go wrong with either, I think. Here at number 16, if Jordan Tyson's measurables come out okay-ish, I think therefore granting his full, I think the Jets would be. They have 2 first-round picks as well as the top second-round pick, so they're able to swing on a wide receiver, high upside receiver, potentially best receiver in this draft class, to pair alongside Garrett Wilson, and they're not going to be good anytime soon. So you can take a swing on a high floor, high upside player. Oh, that's the only issue is his measurable. I mean, his medicals. Sorry. So now here at 17, it looks like the pick's gonna be Fano. The Detroit Lions need help on the offensive line. It's kind of a mess. Now Fano can move to guard. He can stick at tackle, which I think he will be a tackle at the NFL level. But they need help at offensive line. They just do. It's a mess. And to get Fano here, who's second best tackle in this class, I mean, what else can you say if you're a Lions fan? What else could you want the pick to be? Some could say you need cornerback help, as you know, the recent first-round pick hasn't been doing so much. And Avion Terrell could fit this scheme. It's just undersized corner. Turnover machine, I will admit. He's going to go in the first round. I'm just letting you guys know. Avion Terrell. I'm higher on Avion Terrell than most people, I believe. But, yeah, I just believe that you just take the more valuable position, especially when you need it more. Here at 18 for the Vikings, oh man. You thought. Here we're going to have the second safety come off the board, Emmanuel McNeill-Warren. Man, is this guy electric. You can see on his tape that receivers are physically scared to catch the ball in his vicinity. They just are. Watch the tape. You'll see it. Harrison Smith is a year away from crumbling down into bones. He's very old. He's still a very good player, but he's very old. He's probably going to retire next season, any minute now. And to get second best safety in the class, in a class that doesn't have a lot of high-end talent, I mean, they need help in that secondary, and they're achieving that with Emmanuel McNeill-Warren. Here at 19, I think this is where Kenyon Sadiq goes. I think the Panthers could use more pass catchers, more weapons for Bryce Young, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure Bryce Young hits. You want to pamper him. You want to give him everything he could possibly need, because if you get your quarterback, everything else becomes simpler as an organization now that you have your quarterback. And they have to 100% double check that his recent success isn't just a fluke, and make sure this is our guy. We're going to stick with our guy. And I feel like the best way to do that is to make sure he has the best weapons he could possibly ask for. Of course, the defensive line, they can use assistance. There's a lot of defensive talent here still left on the board. But I think to get a caliber of Kenyon Sadiq's, player of Kenyon Sadiq's caliber, who can just do it all, really. I mean, he's a do-it-all tight end. Of course, blocking isn't his specialty. You don't want him blocking against those first-level players. But his second and third level, he can survive on his own. And just his pass-catching upside, I think you need that if you're the Panthers organization for a team that looks like you guys missed with Leggett. Your quarterback, Bryce Young, just needs more help. Here at 20, I mean, I think this is perfect if you're the Cowboys. You're filling two desperate positional needs here in the first round with C.J. Allen and Kendrick Folk. C.J. Allen is just a good linebacker prospect. He's going to go in this first round no matter what, I think. There's not much to say, really. They needed a linebacker. They just recently cut Logan Wilson yesterday, I believe. And they got their linebacker. Yeah, at 20. Pick 21, we're going to pencil in. Everybody does it. Denzel Boston. Yeah, I do want to say, Steeler fans, I would be wary of Denzel Boston as he gives me Keon Coleman flashbacks in terms of his ability to separate isn't really there. He's more of a jump ball guy, and he has more size and length than that of a Keon Coleman. So don't take it as I believe he's just gonna be a bum who can't separate and can't catch footballs. But I am worrisome of his ability to separate at a elite level in the NFL. And it's harder to just be a jump ball demon. Realistically, it just is. We saw how that worked for Keon Coleman, and I think Keon Coleman was a better prospect than Denzel Boston. So here at pick 22, it's really between two positions: defensive line or our offensive line. And I think here we go Peter Woods. He falls heavily coming into in the summer. A lot of people had Peter Woods going in the top five, and we saw from his 2024 to 2025 season, it looks like he lost a lot of weight. And of course, Clemson was just due to garbage all around as a team. But even with those issues as a team, Peter Woods himself just wasn't producing, and he just didn't look like the same player. There was motor issues you could see in his tape sometimes, and you can tell that the weight loss has affected him negatively in his play, as it seems. His numbers were just down across the board. They just were. But I think if you're the Chargers, I think you can try reaching for Caden Proctor, who will play guard for you guys. It's questionable. He has the size. It's just the actual skill and being that of an actual football player, he just doesn't have it. He hasn't shown it. He was a former 5-star recruit, and he just hasn't put it together. And I just don't think if you're the Chargers, who just came off a playoff run, you don't really want to swing on a offensive lineman when you can take the higher floor, higher ceiling player, in my opinion, of Peter Woods on the defensive line, which you do need. And I just truly believe you can find starter level guard play in the second round. You really can. There are a lot of Senior Bowl standouts, Shrine Bowl standouts in the offensive line that you can find in the second round for your interior offensive line. Here at pick 23, we're going to speed it up a little bit. I'm going to have Avion Terrell. Oops, sorry. Avion Terrell here. It's obvious. Not obvious, sorry. For me, I think it's going to be the obvious pick as they need cornerback help. You can say they could use edge assistance, but I think cornerback is just a more valuable. Well, edge is more valuable than corner, but I think Avion Terrell has shown more than T.J. Parker, much more this season at least. His turnovers is the way he just forces turnovers when he's out on the field is insane. He's a defensive playmaker, and I think if you're Philadelphia, you would love to have that in the secondary that needs help. It just does. Um, Here at pick 24, I have Monroe Freeling. The Browns have to go offensive line with one of the first 2 round picks, 100%. And I do believe he is the better prospect compared to Lomu and Proctor. I think the only reason Proctor is ranked higher is just because of his measurables and his insane stature. And Lomu, he just wasn't that good this season. He was like frustrating to watch his tape. It really was. So I kind of have a TBD on him. We kind of got to see his pro day and things of that nature to really get a good gauge on what Lomu's gonna be in the NFL because he will be a tackle, but if he's gonna be a starting level caliber tackle, which I do believe Monroe Freeling is. Here at pick 25, Um, I think for Chicago Bears defense that needs more pass rushing juice, um, you can get that as well as getting that interior presence in Caleb Banks. Wait, hold on, guys. I think you guys are a little. Hold on. There we go. I think I got y'all right. For a but yeah, for a defensive line that needs replenishment, you saw their defense wasn't really good at stopping the run or things of that nature. They were really just forcing takeaways. Um, they can get Caleb Banks, who has risen a lot. He played, I think, 4 games coming off an injury towards the end of the season for Florida, and he's a really good prospect. He's a 6'6", great size, but in the run game, you don't really see that size affect it, which is a shame. He doesn't really fill gaps. He really doesn't take on double teams and challenge them well. He's really more of a pass rushing from the interior. But with that side, you're hoping you can develop him into becoming a good run stopper, as you can't teach size. And he already has a pass rush, which I think is the harder part to get at that size, and especially in the interior. You can teach him how to be stout against a run. I think if you're an NFL organization. Pick 26. I'm having Chris Bell. Um, Coming off the ACL injury, a lot of people aren't mocking him in the first round anymore. I believe he'll be ready by the time the season starts. And I have questions about Casey Concepcion. His hands aren't the best. And for a team that desperately needs wide receiver, they have to go wide receiver in this first round, I believe. For Josh Allen, I think you want to take the least amount of questions receiver as possible. And do you really want to draft a receiver in the first round who you're questioning their hands? I mean, that's the one thing you must have as a receiver: catch the football. So I'm a little lower on Casey Concepcion than a lot of other people, and I think Chris Bell will be ready to go for training camp and all those things. So having here in the first round. Pick 27 for the bums 49ers. Um, they need pass rushing help, and I think Leatherhead he's the guy. Akeem Mesidor, he falls due to his age. He's gonna be, I think, 25 by the start of the season. Um, he's very old. He's much older prospect, but his pass rush and his day one presence on the NFL field will be felt. He's a certified starter in this league. He just falls due to his age. That's it. Um, then here at pick 28, hold on. You guys could kind of not see. Let me shrink it for you guys. There we go. At pick 28, I think this is where Caden Proctor falls. I mean, stops his fall stops. Um, the Texans need offensive line bad because CJ Stroud has been questionable per se in recent years, which is an unfortunate fall from grace from his rookie season, stellar rookie season. And I think they can go with Caden Proctor, who you can play at right tackle. I think he would be best in the interior offensive line at guard, and also he can lose some weight, as I think his weight restricts him from using his hands appropriately in plays. Um, yeah, I think that just makes the most sense for them. I mean, not much to say really. I don't really know what else to say. I just think they need offensive line help. And Caleb Lomu, I've already told you guys I have my questions and reservations about as a player. Um, Proctor, he just has the overall godsend talent in terms of physical tools. Here at pick 29, this isn't what I would do, but I was wrong about the Jackson Dart pick. Ty Simpson to the Rams. They need their future quarterback after Stafford. Sorry, and I mean, if you're able to have this guy come in, sit for a year, develop under Stafford, and then be ready to take the mantle the year after. I mean, to be able to get a first round quarterback, while also getting a first round receiver, to be blessed with 2 first round picks, and for a quarterback to be readily available for you, who fits the archetype of quarterback that the Rams would like in terms of really more of a non-mobile not gunslinger, but a more quarterbacky quarterback. A statue in the pocket per se. Not that Ty Simpson doesn't have mobility, but he like Stafford, he doesn't really have no plus athleticism. I don't know if you could really see the board for some reason, but I'm gonna just tell you the last 3 picks here as I make them. For pick 30, the Broncos. I'm gonna have Omar Cooper Jr. I don't think he has the high end athleticism at the receiver position, but for a team that I think needs to help Bo Nix in terms of pass, they need more pass catchers as their offensive line is great. Their defense is great. I think they can use a pick on the offense, either a tight end or receiver, preferably receiver. And I think Omar Cooper is just a dog, just clear cut. They could just have that rough, dirty work receiver who's just gonna get you those extra yards. At pick 31, I mean, Cleveland Chason is headed for free agency. I don't know if the Patriots bring him back. Even if they do, they can still need edge help. They just need pass rush help. I think this is going to be a defensive pick here, and based on how the board fell for the Patriots, I think you're feeling pretty great if you're getting a good edge prospect here at 31. I mean, there's not many flaws in TJ Parker's game out of the edge rushers on the board. I mean, if we take a look at the edge rushers, how many of these guys here are a 3-down player? Romello Height, too light to play against the run, so you're only seeing at third downs. Same with Zion Young. Couple more guys. I mean, there's just not really that many 3-down players that are first round caliber here in the mock, from what I'm seeing. Maybe let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but that's just what I see. And then for the last pick of the class, at pick 32, I'm gonna go with Brandon Cisse. Brandon Cisse, he's let me get these ads off the board. I think he's gonna go into the combine, run a 4.3. He's a really good DB prospect, and for a Seahawks defense who has several pending free agents on their secondary, such as Reek Willen, I think Love is gonna be a free agent, and someone else. They have the money to bring them all back, but why, if you could just draft a replacement here with the end of the first round pick? That's my first round mock draft pre-combine. Let me know what pick you hated, what pick you love. If I did your favorite team right, if I did them justice, and if you think all my picks were stupid and that I'm stupid and then I need to delete my YouTube channel, let me know that so in the comments. Without further ado, like and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. I love y'all. Have a good day.